All right. I want to take you through the exercises in Grammar and Meaning, Chapter 1, and address some of the questions and ideas that you brought up after completing those. So I asked you only to do 1.2. So I'm going to talk about 1.2, and then in class we were planning on doing 1.3 and 1.4 together. So I'll do those for you and talk through, kind of do a think aloud about those. All right, here we go. So exercise 1.2, what I heard from you all is that you were able to complete it because the boxes help you do it, but you're not real sure how you would do it without the support of the boxes. So first, what I'll say is that by the end of this chapter, chapter 2 in Grammar and Meaning, you're going to be able to come back to this exercise and think, oh, that is so easy, because what we're going to be doing throughout chapter 2 is identifying these chunks and talking about what defines them. So this is really just a preview sort of exercise to help you just even start thinking about the fact that there are these groups within language. Okay, so even after we talk about it right now, if you still feel befuddled about it, it's okay. This is meant to just get you to start thinking, not for you to feel confident about it at this point. So let me do a sort of a think aloud of sentence 2 that it gave you, and how I start knowing what's in each group. So obviously it structures for me and tells me that now is going to be by itself. And so I think, okay, so now is not doing the same thing that next word she is doing. I think, well, now is giving me a sense of the when. It's giving me a sense of what systemic functional linguistics calls the circumstances, kind of the time, the things happening around the main event. Whereas the word she, that pronoun, is doing something really different, right? It's telling me the who. And so the fact that they're doing different things tells me they're in different groups. All right, if I keep going, I think, oh, is, and then working. All right, so it's telling me that is and working go together. And I think, well, okay, that makes sense because they're both about sort of the doing. We think of verbs as being the action words. They're more than that, but it's a good place to start. So working, yeah, that feels actiony, that feels verby. And is, well, I know that's also a verb, right? That's the verb to be, but we've changed it because it's coming after a third person singular pronoun. But I think, yeah, both of these are doing sort of the same thing. They're related to telling me the what is happening here, right? The process. All right, then if I keep going, now I've got these interesting little tiny words. So at, all right, iron or mine. Okay, so it's telling me all of that goes together. Okay, why? Well, when I think about iron ore and mine, I think, okay, well, that goes together because mine is a thing, and iron ore is telling me what kind of thing. So it's not a coal mine, it's an iron ore mine. So I think, well, those are working together, right? And then I think, oh, that's telling me more. That's working with the whole idea here as well, right? So it's not the iron ore mine. It's one. It's one of them. So I think these three are working together really to tell me which mine I'm talking about. So these three are working together in what we'll call a noun group, because we've got our noun mine, but then these words that are telling me more about it. But then this one's a little weird, right? because we've got at in front of it. So at, if you can remember all the way back to whenever you last did grammar in your life, maybe that was in grade school, at is one of those words called a preposition. And so if you think about it, all of this is working together to tell me some details about where she is working. Where is she working? At an iron ore mine. And so that chunk kind of works together to answer the question of where. And further, you see the same thing happening here. In Western Australia. Okay, so again, Australia is my noun, proper noun, because it's a place, a specific place. And Western, an adjective, is telling me more about which part of Australia. So those are working together. And then that in, again, it's a preposition. And so that's telling me again where it's happening. And so that's working together as another chunk of meaning. All right. Let's do a couple more. So in sentence 3, she, all right, so that's my pronoun. It's its own group because it's a who. It's telling me the who. Takes, it's doing something completely different in the sentence, so I know I'm on to a new group. It's telling me the verbing that's happening, the process that's happening. So in this case, taking. So that's a completely different thing. That's got to be its own group. Rock samples. Why do they go together? Well, they go together because they're both, you need both of them clumped together to know what we're talking about. So it's not just samples, it's not just rock, it's rock samples. And so because they're working as a unit, we're going to put them together into a group. From various sites. Okay, and this is similar to at an iron ore mine or in Western Australia, from various sites. So this chunk of meaning is working together to answer, sorry about that, to answer the question of where, or in this case, from where. Okay? And I'll just finish this sentence. So this is my second clause. So we've got and. Oh, now that's interesting. So and is unlike any of the other words we've talked about so far. Notice how we've got a clause A and a clause B. That little word and, its function, what it's doing, it's connecting those two clauses together. So its role in the sentence is unique. So that's why it's its own group. So think of every group, it groups together based on its function, based on what it's doing. All right, tests, there's that verb or process. Them, okay, them, pronoun, again. And so it's got its own type of work that it's doing. It's not verbing, it's telling me more about who, in a sense, or what. And then in a laboratory is giving me more information about where things are happening. And so that's similar to from various sites or at an iron ore mine or in Western Australia. Okay? All right, I'm going to stop this video here and then we'll start a new one to go over the other two exercises in GM Chapter 1.